You're on a flying bus, along with 99 cartoon characters, and it's soaring through the air high above an island. You jump out and parachute down to the ground, where you immediately start picking up weapons. You trek across rivers, maybe build a fort, or hide out in Snoop Dogg's mansion. Oh, and you do some dancing along the way. Your objective on the island is simple: survive this wacky world until you're the last person standing. This is the video game Fortnite. Fortnite might take place in a fantasy land, but its influence on the world is very real. Since it came out in 2017, it's endured as one of the planet's most popular games.
The player tracker sites show that well over 1 million people are playing Fortnite at any time.
And that's thanks to a group of video game designers based not in Silicon Valley, not in Seattle or Japan, but in the South.
What's neat is that what is one of the biggest, most influential games of all time was created in Cary, North Carolina.
I'm Anissa Khalifa. You're listening to The Broadside, where we tell stories from our home at the crossroads of the South. This week, we find out how a North Carolina company made the biggest video game in the world. Hey, it's Anissa. WUNC provides important local news that our community relies on. But we're also committed to telling the stories of North Carolinians that you might not hear anywhere else. Your support makes all of that important work possible. Make your contribution now so that we can continue telling stories that inspire and inform. Please give at the link in our show notes or at WUNC.org, where you'll see a big donate button at the top right corner of the page. Thank you so much.
I'm Al Letson, host of Reveal. From central Mexico to the front lines of Ukraine.
We were given an order not to take any prisoners.
From an abortion clinic in Florida.
A woman was just assaulted.
To the streets of Chicago.
More than 2,000 kilograms of heroin came to Chicago in a week.
Reveal is your weekly dose of investigative reporting.
Somebody has to say something.
Subscribe to Reveal wherever you get your podcasts.
I had never played Fortnite before, and it started out as research. I played Fortnite, and then at a certain point, I can't really justify it as research, and I was just playing it.
Brian Gordon is the technology and innovation reporter for the News and Observer based in Raleigh, North Carolina. Brian recently reported a multi-part series on Epic Games, the company that created Fortnite.
The history of Epic Games, they've had 3 really popular games to different degrees. Fortnite is a whole different stratosphere of success.
Now, Brian hadn't actually played Fortnite until recently, but he certainly knew about it. And if you've been around teenagers much in the past few years, you've probably heard about Fortnite too.
I was a school teacher before becoming a reporter, and so my first Fortnite experience was watching students dance in the cafeteria. Dances that were popularized by the game. The floss, the Carlton.
Viral dances are just one sign of Fortnite's reach. Brian says the game peaked in popularity in 2018 and catapulted Epic to be one of the most successful video game companies in the world.
Recently, Epic said that they have 800 million accounts worldwide, which is a staggering number.
So how did it get to be so popular? What is in the Fortnite formula? Well, firstly, it's free.
Yeah, it's a completely free to play if you want it to be. Spending money gives you no gameplay advantage. So you can spend all the money, no money, and you could win, you could lose. Some games are pay to get better weapons, pay to unlock a new level. Fortnite is free.
You can use money to buy special accessories, like new characters and dance moves for them to do while they run around on the battlefield.
Eventually, they had these IP, intellectual property crossovers where you could look like John Wick, you could look like Marvel characters, you can look like, at this point, pop stars.
Do you have a favorite avatar?
Yeah, Peter Griffin from Family Guy. You can play as him.
So that's where the game makes the money, is through these in-game purchases.
Yeah.
Another big thing is how the game looks. the overall vibe of it. It is a first-person shooter game, but
it's cartoonish, kid-friendly, silly, irreverent, but you are still killing your opponents, to put it bluntly. Though in that world, almost the word killing feels like a little harsh. And parents are probably more comfortable kids playing Fortnite than a Call of Duty because you're not a soldier, you're a cartoon.
is there blood in Fortnite?
No. When you get hit, I think like a little blue thing sort of like emanates.
It's like the soul is leaving the body. Is that okay?
Gory it is not.
So how'd this bloodless, cartoonish killing game sprout up in Cary, North Carolina?
It seems a bit random.
For that, we've got to go back to the late 90s, when Epic Games founder Tim Sweeney moved from Maryland to North Carolina and set up shop in Cary. Brian says Sweeney's reasons were similar to what we hear today from a lot of the state's newcomers.
Good weather, more affordable housing, access to an airport. Late 90s, he was a little ahead of the curve for when a lot of people came, but yeah.
After the move to North Carolina, Epic had its first hit with a first-person shooter game called Unreal. But as Epic grew, it faced its first major hurdle, getting people to move to North Carolina.
Employees came here, and they definitely take a chance when they come to North Carolina, as some said, is that you can take a video game job in California, and if it doesn't work out, you can find another video game company in California. But if you move to the Triangle and Epic doesn't work out, you're going to have to move again.
But thankfully for Epic, its success didn't slow down. By the late 2000s, they had Gears of War, another gritty shooting game that became a hit franchise for the company. And it was around this time, in 2011, when Brian says a new idea began to get kicked around.
For the first year, this small but growing team developed a game called Fortress, and its status was always in doubt.
Despite that uncertainty, the team behind Fortress, which was later renamed Fortnite, chugged along through years of development.
The team that was behind it was really passionate, and they defended it. They'd go into meetings, and I think one of the former employees used the phrase that they felt like pirates trying to rebel. And then in 2017, that game comes out, and it is fine.
It was just fine. Now, that first version of Fortnite was not the smash success gamers know today. It looked a little different. Players had to build forts and defend them from zombies.
It's okay. We're gonna get you out of here.
Oh, thank you. We thought you were more of those things. Monsters are coming.
But soon after Fortnite's release, Epic took a big swerve in a different direction. And Brian says they have a rival game to thank for it.
So in 2017, a game came out called PlayerUnknown's Battleground, more commonly known as PUBG. And it became the most popular game in the world. It was like the game of that year. It was a battle royale format, which was in the zeitgeist at the time. You had Hunger Games had been coming out, and this captured this battle royale, one person fighting everybody else, last man standing, just sort of energy.
In this format, instead of fighting monsters, players fight each other, and the last person standing is the winner. This pivot to battle royale proved to be a game changer. With this new format, Fortnite became the highest-grossing video game of 2018.
I think Epic hopes that the legacy is that it is still a very popular game that people are playing. It's really hard for games to stay popular forever. Like, that just doesn't happen. And that's why I think Epic has been working to try to transform Fortnite from a game into an experience.
Brian says this new kind of Fortnite experience, according to Epic CEO Tim Sweeney, looks like a metaverse.
Which is, in my mind and in others' minds, a bit of a nebulous still construct of about a third space where anybody could hang out in a virtual space, just do anything you can in the real world, but in this virtual space to connect people.
According to Brian, this metaverse is evidence of the before and after Fortnite effect at Epic. Less common are the days of group brainstorming sessions called game jams, where ideas were tossed out and workshopped among developers. The kinds of things that led to Fortnite in the first place. Now, Epic's future is more focused on expanding the Fortnite universe.
They've been looking to use Fortnite as the vehicle for what's next, not necessarily look for a new game after Fortnite. Epic went on a shopping spree with the wealth that Fortnite gave them, purchased a lot of games to kind of develop this metaverse.
And have those investments paid off for the company?
It's been costly, and they had layoffs last year with Tim Sweeney mentioning that the cost of developing the metaverse was a cause for having to cut back. In Tim Sweeney's grandest dreams, it would be almost like a new internet where all these different IPs and companies, players could toggle between them. That's still very lofty, and it will be very costly. And legally, I think, how do you collaborate with all these different stakeholders and letting a player go from this IP to this IP to Disney to this to that?
Right. We still haven't even figured out how to regulate the internet.
Yeah, fair. And we're jumping to this whole new platform.
So Charlie and I are going to go and play Fortnite in a few minutes. I've never played. I think he's played a little bit, but do you have any tips for us?
Yeah. If you want to win, listen to somebody else. Get a good weapon and then find a good place to hunker down.
Okay. Coming up, we find out what happens when a podcaster picks up a controller. And we talk with a video game critic about Fortnite's massive impact on the world of gaming.
At Radiolab, we love nothing more than nerding out about science, neuroscience, chemistry.
But we do also like to get into other kinds of stories. Stories about policing or
politics,
country music,
hockey,
sex, of bugs.
Regardless of whether we're looking at science or not science, we bring a rigorous curiosity to get you the answers.
And hopefully make you see the world anew.
Radiolab, adventures on the edge of what we think we know.
Wherever you get your podcasts.
You come to the New Yorker Radio Hour for conversations that go deeper with people you really want to hear from, whether it's Bruce Springsteen or Questlove or Olivia Rodrigo, Liz Cheney, or the godfather of artificial intelligence, Jeffrey Hinton, or some of my extraordinarily well-informed colleagues at the New Yorker. So join us every week on the New Yorker Radio Hour, wherever you listen to podcasts.
Okay, so what are we doing?
All right, we're doing a battle royale.
All right, drop in and load up. Pick a landing spot and search for gear. Stay inside the eye of a storm. Deadly clouds are close. After I chatted with Brian about Fortnite, producer Charlie Shelton Ormond and I decided to check it out and fired up the game for ourselves. You might hear our editor Jared in the background too. And just to warn you, I am not a gamer. Last one standing wins. There can only be one winner. Okay, I'm ready to kill some people, I guess. That's not something I've ever said before, but let's do it. Landing next to this little tree.
Okay, there's a weapon right there.
Oh, I got the shotgun.
And now if
I got the ammo.
Okay.
Okay, we got lots of stuff. Okay.
Let's go swimming.
Let's go. Do I just jump into the water?
Yeah.
The gameplay is pretty self-explanatory. You land, start exploring and collecting weapons to fight with, and picking up building materials in case you want to make a fort and hunker down, like Brian recommended. It was pretty easy even for a non-gamer with slow thumbs like me. There's a car. It's a taxi.
Okay, so we've got 33 people left. You're one of 33 left. Just took out a nice tree.
Okay, do I get those for my building materials?
Maybe.
All right. I had some fun poorly piloting a boat across a river and driving a taxi around and sometimes through obstacles. But those slow thumbs meant that once I actually saw another player, it was curtains for me pretty quickly.
Oh, there's somebody to the right. Get to the left, to the left.
Oh, what's happening? Oh, I don't even know what happened. I forgot how to shoot.
You placed 26. That's not terrible.
It's out of 100. Mostly because I didn't meet anybody because I was driving boats and cars. So my Fortnite adventure was short-lived. But I definitely see the appeal. It's easy to play, and the world is fun to explore.
All right, well.
That was great.
That was fun, though.
Yeah.
Would play again.
Jared, you want to play?
After my anticlimactic death, I wanted to know more about the world of Fortnite within the gaming universe. So I sat down with Jamal Michel. He's a video game critic who's written for places like NPR, the New York Times, and the Washington Post. So, what's your relationship with Fortnite?
I laugh because I feel like if my cousins or my friends were listening, they'd make fun of me. I play Fortnite. I've played Fortnite. I'm terrible at Fortnite. My younger cousins often carry me. But one of those video games that you can't get away from. It influences all the other games coming out. I've genuinely been following it since 2017, around the time it came out, to now.
Did Fortnite change gaming?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question. I mean, Fortnite was really one of those first shooters to not take themselves so seriously. Every other game is gritty, it's dark, it's bloody, it's very macho, very bro. But in Fortnite, I could literally be Goku from the Dragon Ball Z universe. I can eliminate somebody and do like some kind of emote dance on them. And the idea of a battle pass in a video game that's free to play, like Fortnite, is basically a premium you pay. You can pay $10 for it, $15 for it, depending on the game. What it gives you access to is this sort of tier list of items that you can acquire the longer you play and the more you level up. That was not really a thing in the past. So games now like Call of Duty, Halo, Overwatch, whomever, all of these games begin to play with the idea of something like that. Even if they were live service, even if the game was originally free, there is something to incentivize players to keep playing.
It seems like it's hard for video games to stay popular, stay in the zeitgeist for a long time, but Fortnite seems to have endured. How do you think that it managed to do that?
There are so many factors that contribute to something staying in the zeitgeist for long enough, but the zeitgeist is changing every other day. It's happening so quickly. I will say social media has helped propel Fortnite into that kind of popularity. TikTok especially. I feel like I'm seeing shorts, reels, whatever, across all platforms of clips that people are getting in Fortnite. A cool elimination or something like that. But Fortnite is good about keeping its playlists and its content fresh. So quite frequently, I think every week or so, they're changing the content available within the game. And they're taking in the wants and needs of their player base as well. So it's not that the game comes out, they're making creative decisions behind closed doors and the audience has to just sit with it. Rather, they're an integral part of the content that Epic is putting out. So I think they've just done a great job of communicating and listening to their players. I will say, I think one of the other factors that really contributed to its success is how it was able to incorporate a lot of hip-hop inspired, rap inspired culture. And it is a point of contention for people because there are emotes and dances that have been released in the game that are either taken directly from prominent or popular Black content creators or exist within a very specific like Black space. And so that says something about this contentious relationship that video games have with marginalized communities that may not be represented in a thoughtful way, but are still tapped for their creativity.
We talked to a reporter who did a story about Fortnite and Epic. He said that Epic is really focused on finding their next success within the world of Fortnite. So, you know, the metaverse or the universe of the game or by acquiring external content. Is this emblematic of the video game industry as a whole, like taking less risk on new games, focusing more on franchises, and extending out their pre-existing franchises?
That really seems emblematic of just the creative industries that we consume, film and television. You know, we're seeing more sequels than we're seeing new projects come out. And I think for a game like Fortnite, being able to do that so readily is, if it ain't broke, you know, why would I try and fix something like this that's already built up so much momentum? I think that the thing that they might want to be wary of is the fatigue. You know, we've seen superhero fatigue with the MCU, but Fortnite is a safe bet. You know, you're not going to see any blood or any gore. You're not going to see anything that an IP who collaborates with Fortnite is going to be afraid of damaging their image with. So I think that safe bet allows Fortnite to go farther and allows them to say, how about we stay in our own house but continue to invite people in.
Could a game like Fortnite be developed and released now?
I think the short answer is not really. This is like a flash in the pan. You couldn't see this coming. I think gamers still want something new and something fresh, but the folks who are taking those big swings are in the indie space. And we're seeing companies like Xbox and PlayStation, or rather Sony and Microsoft, invest in that indie space because they know that's where they're taking the big swings. You can't really afford to do that when you are a multi-million-dollar studio and video games are way more expensive to make and they take longer. So if you're going to take a bet like that and the return is going to be pretty abysmal, you're not going to see support at that kind of level. So I do think it's there, but on a smaller scale. On a large scale like this, I think it'd be really, really difficult to duplicate.
What do you think will be Fortnite's legacy?
Fortnite's legacy will be the fact that the memes are ultimately going to be real. And when I say the memes, I mean for folks who are chronically online who create like fan art of Naruto talking to Goku or fighting with Goku, we'll finally see that realized, except Goku and Naruto are going to have these bizarre weapons in their hands, and they're going to be T-posing, and they're going to be dancing these like very popular hip-hop dances. And I think that will be the enduring legacy, is that it never took itself so seriously that people forgot about it. I think they're going to remember those moments. I mean, meme culture dominates the video game space, and that's exactly what Fortnite is creating in its own world and in its own unique way. I might not be the best at it. I might not frequently play it. I might be at odds with how it's transformed the economy of video games, but I think it's irrefutable. It's really got an enduring spirit, and I don't know that it's going to stop anytime soon.
If you'd like to check out Brian Gordon's series about epic games, we've dropped a link in the show notes. We also have links to some of Jamal Michel's work. This episode of The Broadside was produced by Charlie Shelton Ormond. It was edited by Jared Walker. Wilson Sayer is our executive producer. The Broadside is a production of WUNC North Carolina Public Radio and is part of the NPR network. You can email us at broadside@wunc.org. If you enjoyed the show, leave us a rating, a review, or share it with a friend. I'm Anissa Khalifa. Thanks for listening, y'all. We'll be back next week.